Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brain.
X marks the spot this week on Final Guys. What's up, my brothers in porn?
That is so true. All is good here. Need
We've
some
got-
vitamin E, but I'm fine.
Big Dick Black, you're doing well?
My name's Big Dick Black. All is good. And if you people can name what movie that's from in the chat room, you get pride. Pride in naming that movie.
And Dirty Pillows, how are you?
I'm doing well. It was nice to get to the movies again.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
your
was
host,
that your
Jackson
first time in a
Hole.
while? Just don't
Um, I saw Spider-Man in, when was that? December, November, whenever that was.
Oh, so first time this year.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, the main feature tonight is X, the new Ty West movie that's in theaters only. So this is a big deal. To get all three of us to go out and see something in the theater has to be.
You know, it used to happen almost every weekend, and now it's like, oh God, I don't know if I can get there.
Well, number one, at this point, it's got to have like good reviews or be a big enough event that we're like, okay, we have to for the show. Because
Yeah.
I mean, after stuff like Winchester and some other stuff, you're like, okay, no way.
Pass.
We're like half the box office for those movies.
Or all. Who knows?
And it's
No,
so
this
funny
is
because
worthy.
I don't know about you guys, but most of the time when I see a movie for this thing, there's like 3 people in the theater.
I got to say, I was location scouting a book up in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and I just saw this little theater, and I was like, if I'm sober and I have nothing to do later, maybe I'll go see a movie. And I saw they were playing X. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm in. It was a Sunday night. It was one of like 10 people, but I feel like the town only has 20, so I feel like it was good representation.
Yeah, there were 2 other people in the theater with us.
Yeah,
So
that's why I like it.
I feel like I had 6 or 7 people.
But I did get a pointer from the kid who was giving me my popcorn. He goes, dude, stay to the end of the credits, man. Don't walk away. I was like, all right. Because I normally bolt. So I
the
was
guy
glad.
behind me got up before it was right at the end of the movie, but he actually got up and left before the actual movie was totally over. So
Mhm.
I couldn't even like if he gave it another minute or 2, I would have been like, hey, there's an after credits scene. But he bolted, so I was like, you're a lost pal.
Hey, I was the only one watching that. Everyone had left, and I laughed. I was like, ha ha, suckers.
got him.
I don't know,
So
but
you.
so often now I think about it like the day before. I'm like, oh, I gotta Google and see if there's an after credit scene, and then I forget, and then inevitably it's like when the credits start.
Yeah, that's what I do.
This is the only after credit scene I think I've seen in years.
Well, it was much better than the after credit scene in Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You think? No.
I didn't even see that one.
Yeah, it was.
All right, but before we get to the main feature, we're going to do all the usual stuff, and with that comes drinking words.
Okay. Here are your words. Your orders tonight are to drink. When Jack says Ortega, adult, and couple, hey, you just pulled that from his Pornhub little search engine. And mine is elderly, heart, and house. Jason's, yours are West, Goth, and Pearl. And bonus words are A24, Texas, and 70s. Love the
Nice.
70s.
Boy, StreamYard seems to be running like shit here. Everything is laggy.
Goth
It's
is
got
a
a
good
case
word.
of the Tuesdays.
Jason, you got goth. That's a good word. I have goth envy.
You don't really see the goth thing anymore, do you? Now that I think
Well,
about it.
Mia Goth, I think, is the.
Oh, yeah, I'm never going to say that.
He's like, who's she?
It's like, God, I don't remember any goth characters in this.
She's the girl from Suspiria with the eyes.
Yes. And that movie
Was it-
with
Was it Jenna Ortega in this?
Jenna Ortega,
Yes.
the Queen of Horror.
I didn't know who that was, except I watched the new Scream this week, and I just happened to look up who she was, and then I saw her in this like a day later.
Isn't
She's
she
in
from, like,
that,
Jane the
um,
Virgin or something.
The Babysitter sequel, Queen Bee or something, like whatever that was called.
I have basically zero
Yes.
recollection of that movie.
You're right. A Cure for Wellness. That's who I knew Mia Goth from. I couldn't remember the name.
I haven't
of
seen
movie.
that movie.
I haven't either.
It's the most beautiful horror movie I've seen probably in the last 5 years. That is really long. In the end, Jack, you would love it. It turns into a Hammer movie. Like for the last 20 minutes, like where did this come from?
Huh.
It's just a long ride to get there.
Yeah. That's what the fast forward button's for.
Exactly. YouTube it.
All right. Anything to add before we go to the big news segment?
Tim, oh, he's not here. We'll see Tim in 50 more episodes.
No, I got nothing.
Quick shout out to all the finalists in the chat tonight. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Hey yo. Pam Morrison back in the house. How long are we going to keep you here? Pam, we want you up past your bedtime tonight.
The Queen
To
Witch.
the very end. That's right. Cult leader.
And Luscious Lutsky's hair is here today.
Just the hair, nothing else.
All right, let's get to the award-winning news segment.
It's the news. Yay.
You ever just wake up in the morning and say that? It's the news. Yay.
Yup.
No.
I got a lot of news.
About Broadway plays.
Okay, where to start?
Wow.
I have many news today. I'll start with a good one, I think. Remember that movie Veronica from 2018 that was on Netflix? Spanish movie?
Yes, the Possession movie. That was
Possession
good.
movie with the Ouija board. They're trying to, I think, resurrect their father.
Okay.
They're making a sequel. Actually, Jason, I take that back. They're making a prequel.
Oh, he's out. He's out. Not happening.
Assholes. God.
Well, you got to
This
get
is
to the core of the
it's called Sister
reason.
Death. And it's remember that blind nun in that?
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's about her.
Oh, yeah, I could see them doing that.
So let's just call it the Veronica universe, and this is just a story that takes place before it. But it's not so much a prequel like
Yeah, it's just part of the Veroniverse.
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 That made me want to go back and watch Veronica again because I remember that being a good movie, but
Yeah,
I'm sketchy about the details.
Same.
it was chilling. I remember that.
The guy who co-director of Rec was involved in that, so no wonder it was good.
That will do it.
Okay, little housekeeping news. Jason, you're the one. I don't know, Hunter. You did Archive 81 on Netflix. You watch that?
I have not watched it yet.
Did you watch it?
Yes. Why? But it's totally not ringing a bell. Let me look that up. Go ahead.
I remember when that came out. There was a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Oh, I got through 1 or 2 episodes and I bailed," and other people saying, "Oh, you gotta get to exit to episode 4."
Yeah. I just didn't remember the name. Yeah, I like that show.
Well, Netflix has canceled it. You're not getting a second season. Wah, wah, wah.
Was there an opening for a second season?
I didn't see it. So,
Bitch. Really?
yeah. Meanwhile, it was like on their top 10.
I don't understand Netflix. This is the thing why I don't like getting into Netflix shows anymore because they cancel them right in the middle of a storyline. It just pisses me off, and they do it all the time.
Lesson learned. Everything should be a limited series, one and done.
But they also never take a page out of like Parks and Rec. First season, ups and downs, a little rough. Second
Yeah.
season, they hit their stride, and it's one of the best shows ever. Like maybe give Better Call Saul. First 2 seasons, they have their moments, but they figured out that show in season 3, and now it's like one of the best shows. So, but their algorithm is like, nope, not enough. Move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I wonder if normies, if that was clicking with normies, maybe not. And that's why it's that there's too many of them.
Yeah,
Jay-
I don't know. I
Jay-
don't know. Good.
Good.
I was gonna say I don't know what it takes to get on their top 10 list. If it's just people starting the show, maybe not people finishing the show. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. But I've gotten into so many of their sci-fi and horror shows, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and they're like, "Nope, it's done." I'm like, you bastards! At
Maybe
least
it got
stop.
picked up by
At least
Hulu.
stop with the cliffhangers. You know?
It's really it's a thing because there are so many Netflix shows that I was late on, and then I hear, oh, they canceled it just like this. I was going to watch this, and I'm like, I don't know now. So
I want to watch it more than ever now that I know that I don't have to invest a ton of my life. There's like
That's
too
true.
many damn things, and they go on too long. I kind of
Yeah.
like this.
I'm all about limited series, or at least make each season mostly self-contained, so
Yes.
that if they stop it, okay, I'm happy. But if it goes on, there's maybe a couple threads they left in there. That's fine. This shit is pissing me off, man.
He's done.
Like Netflix is chapping my ass every week. It's amazing.
But still, we're paying more than ever now for it. As of
This new
month.
segment is making me so happy.
Yay!
well, Jason, I'm going to pile on because the hot off the press news from today, I actually had to add this to the news sheet because that's what a good reporter I am. It is getting a prequel. Welcome to Derry. We're going to learn the history of Derry and Pennywise and the 27-year curse thing. Just what you ordered.
What?
Is
Prequel.
the name going to be shit?
Welcome to Derry.
Jesus.
Oh my
but
God, kill me now.
I like yours better.
Oh,
Wow.
Now,
Jesus.
first, It Part 1, pretty good. Okay. It Part 2, didn't do it for me. Didn't like the adults. Didn't like big animated clown spider. No interest to go back and watch that again.
I took a lot of pee breaks during that movie, and I was happy to get up every time. It's like, oh, I'll have another beer so I can miss more of this.
For me, it's going to be once I see a trailer, I'll know this is something I want to see or not. But I didn't need to know where it all started.
Yeah, fucks given, 0.
What if
It's the
they
6
did
prequels.
it like X, and they just concentrate on the gang rape and just all about that? You could do 2.5 hours.
But really good actors and well shot.
Yes. I want all these actors to look like they're 12. Ugh. God, I hate that book. I hate everything about that franchise.
I think it's a development for HBO Max, so maybe we'll get lucky and it's not a theater thing, and we don't have to dance the old, oh, should we go to the theater for this?
Oh, no way.
Well,
No way.
I think I have an idea that it isn't gonna die at the end of the prequel series. Oddly enough, I have a feeling it'll come back.
There will be no suspense whatsoever.
Why should we watch this?
In the book that I'll never read because it's really long.
Hefty.
Do they get in much to the history of this thing?
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole segment where they what do they find a flip book that comes alive, and there's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of lore.
Kind of like the Van Helsing mirror.
Just like it.
Just like it. Exactly the same.
The house stole it from there. Speaking of big books, I picked up Dune yesterday.
I saw that. What's wrong with you?
I hadn't read it since the 80s, and I'm like, I got a gift certificate from work. I said, I'll buy this. That thing is big. And I read like 20 pages last night, and my head is already spinning.
I looked it up. It said it was 400 some pages, which wasn't as big as I expected.
Man, my print is like almost 900.
But how many? Like,
it's not
that's
large print,
book
though.
1, or how many books are in that series?
5, 6. Barnard would know.
I feel like he wrote 4 or 5, and then his son helped write 2 more sequels to kind of close it off, I think. And then I think people wrote some in-between stories, but I don't know if you need to read those. I don't know.
You might disagree with me, but I feel like I'm not enough of a geek to really get into this right now. But I'm going to try. I don't even know what the hell anyone's talking about in this thing. Like,
Oh, really? Is it one of those? Just
Like when I was a
throws you into the
kid, I
deep
would
end?
love it. Like, oh, this word, I wonder what this word means. These are funny names. And now I'm just like, is there a Bob and a Jerry? Are they going to the car? What the fuck is going on?
I can't keep track of the characters in your books. You think I'm
Yeah.
gonna go through Dune?
I've become a lunch pail reader. That's just give me the facts, basic shit.
It's like I remember reading the Walking Dead comic books, and they're all black and white, and so there were some characters that just looked too similar.
I'm
I was
like, I
like,
don't know who that
who's
is.
this?
That was the same thing with me. I'm like, didn't he die like 3 issues ago? I had the same issue.
When I lived in Boston, my first job out of college, one day I got like bazooka bubble gum, and I was just bullshitting with people. I was like, I wonder why Bazooka Joe has an eye patch. This is before the internet. So I wrote a letter to Bazooka and sent it. And then a while later, I got a response from them. It was like an FAQ sheet. They said they gave him, they wanted to give him a discernible feature so that he wouldn't blend in with other characters. That he would stand out. So they decided to poke one of his eyes out. I was like, what, did he blow a really big bubble and it blew his eyeball out?
Pirate eye accident. Anything's possible.
But it was
Poor
kind of
Joe.
cool. I also
Did they
sent
give you
away
like bubble gum?
no.
Sons of bitches! Not even a coupon.
My brother-in-law used to live in the town where they make wiffle balls here in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And he went in to get me a wiffle ball from, that's like Mecca. And they gave him the official rules of wiffle ball to get. So I got a present. So somewhere in this pile of stuff, I have the official rules of wiffle ball.
That's kind of cool.
All right. The last piece of news is actually pretty good news. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Jenna Ortega, drinking word, who is in X. She was in Scream. She was in Babysitter, Queen Bee. She was in many other things we'll get to.
Mm-hmm.
She is in the upcoming Wednesday Addams Netflix show that
That's
Barry
a thing?
Sonnenfeld is. No, he did the original Addams Family. I think, what's his name? Tim Burton. It might be behind this.
Really? Well, that makes sense.
Anyway, the I think Catherine Zeta-Jones might be Morticia. Everybody was calling for Christina Ricci should be Morticia. The piece of news here is that Christina Ricci has signed on to be a part of the series. She's not going to be Morticia. They haven't said who she's going to be playing, but they think Thora Birch was attached to this and left, so they think she might be playing a similar to whatever Thora Birch was going to be doing. So you've got Jenna Ortega as Wednesday and Christina Ricci. Sign me up. I want to see what this is all about.
What would you think if they made Christina Ricci the grandma under a ton of
Grandmama?
Yeah.
Whatever Christina Ricci does, it's going to be awesome. So I'm in.
She is amazing. I can't wait to meet her next month.
What's the cousin It, the one with all the hair?
Yeah. Yeah, they'll make her It.
Yeah, the thing is the hand, and cousin It is the.
Yeah.
As long as she's not cousin It, where you can't see her.
Yeah, we want to see her in that wig she was wearing in Yellow Jackets.
Yeah. And that is all the news that's fit to print.
Not fit. Unfit to.
We have such sights to show you.
All right. Let's get down to it. What did we watch this week? Read, play, whatever. Hunter, you go first.
Ooh. By the way, I haven't been reading any horror, so I have no book recommendations. It's all movies.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've only been reading. I started reading the Jack Reacher series.
Oh,
that was a mistake. They are long.
Yeah,
it's going to take me forever.
Not Dune long though. All right, what's my first? I'm going to go with, since we're talking about Ty West and his return to horror, I'm going to talk about his entrance into horror, The Roost. Did you guys ever see this movie?
I'd never even heard of it until it was on your list.
It's my to-do list.
Jack, this will be kind of up your alley. So this was out in, I think, 2005. hit the festival circuit, got a lot of recognition, got him other jobs, making other movies. Produced by Larry Fessenden. Thank you very much. Starring Tom Noonan, who would return in The House of the Devil.
He's a huge son of a bitch.
Oh, well, let me tell you, he's not even standing around anybody in this movie, and you can tell how tall he is.
The original Tooth Fairy.
He was at Scares maybe 3 years ago. Yeah, because they skipped a year. And he stood up. I mean, he had me by 3-4 inches. He was
good, damn
big.
So this movie starts out, and I was wondering if I had the right movie. I was watching it on YouTube. It starts out black and white, really terrible image, and he's playing a horror host, like a Dracula kind of horror host.
Tom Noonan is?
Yeah, and he's walking through like these catacombs or something and introducing the movie. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I paused it and jumped back out. I'm like, no, this is the Roost. So he's basically, he's getting us ready for the scary tale of the Roost. But he's the most disturbing horror host I've ever seen. He's like, I'm like, there must be children hidden in every corner of these catacombs. It's basically about these 20-somethings who are on a car ride at night, take a shortcut. Car gets stuck on a rock or something, and they're stranded because they're going to a wedding, and they decide to walk and find the nearest farmhouse to find, somebody that can give them a lift or get a tow truck or whatever. And things happen from there. I will tell you, it's a vampire movie, so that's why I think Jack will like it. It's definitely like early mumblecore. It's dark. As far as the lighting, it's very dark. There are times I'm watching this going, this is very much a first time movie. And other times I go, oh, there's Ty West. Like, there's what he's going to become. He didn't have great actors around, but I mean, they did what they could. I think there's CGI in this. I didn't stick around long enough I should have looked it up, but there's a lot of bats in this movie, and I think they're CGI, but it looks good because everything's dark.
For a low budget movie, I would assume they have to be.
Yeah. It was kind of cool. It was a very cool concept. It had a couple of moments. I was like, oh, that's really kind of creepy, but if you're a Ty West fan, and if you like horror and you're not, I don't understand what the hell you're doing, because West and Flanagan to me are like two of the best at it right now, and they're kind of around the same age. It was just cool to see how everything was born, and it's great to see Tom Noonan and Larry Fessenden, who's in it for a little bit towards the endish. So if you can, check it out. It's on YouTube. It's like an hour and 17 minutes or something like that. So
it's free on YouTube.
Yep.
Ty West was on
Mick Garris.
Mick Garris's.
Yeah.
And he was talking about it. So I was like, ooh, I got to check that out.
Yeah. If you hear that interview, you don't need to listen to his interview on Shockwaves or vice versa, because it's the exact same
Is
thing.
it? Okay.
Yeah. Same answers. You're like, oh, I know.
Jason, 30 Pillows.
I watched the new Scream movie.
Oh!
Yeah, I was curious. Because I'm in a weird, I guess it's not weird position. It's probably like this for most people in most horror series. I like the first one a lot. The rest of them I don't really care about.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those, whatever they call them, requels or whatever. I think they even say it in the movie. But this is, I mean, towards the end, this is the same movie as the original Scream.
Oh,
so
God.
The original cast is in it quite a bit, but I mean, it's pretty beat for beat. They really try to hit the meta stuff the same way. But the original Scream had all that. So, my biggest complaint, I guess, would be I basically just watched the original Scream again. Just all the actors in it are older.
The Force Awakens.
Yeah, it was like, could you change it up a little bit? Does it have to be exactly the same? Like, if you're not doing a remake, then why is the story the same? You're just putting in the old actors so that people can say, oh, see,
I have a connection to this, see?
Yeah, so, but having said that, the movie looks great. The acting is good. I actually think the writing in the opening scene where they do the Drew Barrymore thing, because again, this is a remake, so I think it was Jenna Ortega at the beginning.
Yep.
The writing is really clever in how to introduce the series. What are all these pictures? To reintroduce the series for people who maybe haven't seen the sequels, and maybe have only seen the original. You could watch from the beginning there and follow what's happening. Because I don't remember anything from the sequels. I mean, nothing. And they did a really good job bringing that around. So good cast. I mean, it was a solid movie. I like the guys that directed it, Radio Silence. They do good work. My biggest complaint is I've seen this movie. Literally, I have seen this movie. So, everything in it was well done. Just, kind of Force Awakened it. And, I like The Force Awakens. I don't go back and watch it all that often because I've already seen that movie.
I will never forget walking out of the theater on that. And I'm going, what the F did I just got ripped off. I was so mad. So this is what we waited 40 years for, the same effing movie.
Another Death Star.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I
amazing.
don't want to spoil Scream for people, but the end is so much the same. It's ridiculous. Like, imagine having the Death Star, but then dialogue's almost the same. The way people move around is almost. I mean, it's
no thanks. Nope.
Yeah. Well made movie, but I could have used something a little different. So
as far as reboots or whatever goes, there's worse.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's talent. There's talent behind this. Like I said, it's well done.
Here.
I just wanted something a little different.
You want your wife one day to look at you and go, you know what? You're not the best, but there's a lot worse.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I strive for.
I'm not the worst. Yay.
So, is what it is.
Well, I watched a Western, not a horror movie this week. Why?
Well, it's like, what?
The mayor of horror is here to do the homework for you people.
Now you're the mayor of horror.
Award-winning
journalist.
I've already said that I'm the mayor of horror before. You got
the most electrifying personality.
The most electrifying mayor of horror.
Sit up straight, holding onto all these medals.
So I'm out there doing the research, doing the work for my fans. And just like my colleague Hunter Shea, I went back into the Ty West catalog because he did a Western in 2016 called In a Valley of Violence.
I get it now.
Listen to this cast: Ethan Hawke, John Travolta, Tessa Farmiga, Karen Gillan, Larry Fessenden, amongst a few others.
For a low-budget movie.
Low-budget movie. So this is a classic Western plot. Ethan Hawke is his loner, him and his dog. They're traveling. They end up having to go through this town that is nearly deserted, but it has the marshal, John Travolta, and his son and some goons. Karen Gillan is there. Farmiga's there. And trouble ensues. They give an excuse why there's hardly anybody else in the town. So there are not a ton of extras. They're running around this town, and it's just them, but there's no fat on this movie. It's action and dialogue, moves the plot forward. There is great gore in this. You can tell that Ty West is a horror guy because when people get killed, they're like horror movie kills in a Western. John Travolta,
like a Sam
actually
Peckinpah movie.
A little bit, not that over the top. John Travolta doesn't mail it in. It's actually gives a decent performance. I think it's on Netflix. If you like Ty West, you're gonna see it's got that. Ty West is so close to Quentin Tarantino, but he's got the restraint.
Yeah.
So this easily could have been a Tarantino movie with a lot of over the top humor and over the top gore. And instead it's got that Ty West slow burn thing where he doesn't rush anything. It's not boring, but he doesn't rush anything. It's like House of the Devil and Innkeepers.
Yep.
So very enjoyable. And there's so many Westerns that are bloated. They're like 2.5 hours to tell like the same story this is telling. If you're just looking for a good movie to rent, you're interested in Ty West's body of work, this should be the next movie you watch. I really enjoyed watching it.
I gotta watch that. I meant to watch it too, so I'm glad that you like it. because I'm definitely gonna.
Well,
check it
vice
out.
versa with that, because my whole thing is, okay, I need to get Ty Wested up. I'm pretty close on everything he's done. Except I'm not going to go after all his TV shows, but
Yeah,
movie-wise.
I remember when this came out thinking, oh, I want to watch it because Ty West did it, but I didn't put it at the front of the list because it wasn't a horror movie of his, and then I just completely forgot about it. I should go back.
Yeah, once I heard the cast, but Karen Gillan's in this. Oh my God. And
Yeah, that's all right. I'm in for sure.
good stuff.
I feel like YouTube is glitching. Everything's acting really slowly for me, and we haven't had a comment in a long time.
Well, we're glitching. Is it really
So-
happening on YouTube?
Hopefully it's recording, at least.
Let's see.
It says it is, so we'll see what happens.
I'm going to send a note in.
Well, I see it moving along on YouTube.
Maybe everybody
so
bailed on us.
I mean, they should. We suck.
that could be it. You all suck. Oh, there, Chad. We're
Okay,
just
yeah,
boring.
yeah. We are being
Gotcha.
pretty boring. This is a slow episode. Speed it up,
Understand.
goddammit.
Well, Hunter's up.
All right, I'm up. Let's go next. What is my next movie? So I did the Roost. So I'm gonna do The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Which one?
The one with what's his not Michael York. Yeah, Michael York.
The original.
Yeah. Well,
Or
actually,
I don't
the
even know.
second-
That's not even the original, is it?
No, the original is from the 40s.
Yeah.
But this is the one now.
Lancaster.
I saw this movie in the theater. My dad took me when I was a kid, and we used to love this movie to the point where, like Saturday morning when you have to do like chores, my father would go, "What is the law?" And I go, "To sweep the front steps." We used to play off on that. So this is an excellent adaptation of The Island of Dr. Moreau, by the way. You talk about all killer, no filler. There are no downbeats in this movie whatsoever. It just goes and goes and goes. And by the way, it has the lovely Barbara Carrera, Bond girl, who plays Dr. Moreau's kind of like gorgeous lady that you're wondering, is she really human or was she one of these animals that got turned into a human?
Oh yeah, her. This is
Yeah.
the. I've never seen the black and white one.
Which is
this
also
was-
excellent.
Is it?
Yeah.
This is the one I remembered, and then the Val Kilmer one came out.
That
Right.
one's really good, the Val Kilmer one.
The Val Kilmer one is
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
well, no, Val Kilmer one is great for the what the hell is going on here. I will tell you this. Watch this movie. I'm glad you stuck on this still with this tiger going after this poor dude dressed up as a monster. There's a part where all the beasts turn right on Dr. Moreau and start letting all the animals free, even though the leader of the man beast goes, "Don't do that." And they proceed to open all the cages. In the middle of everything being really on fire, these people are being attacked by every wild animal known to man, and they are being thrown out of windows. And there's
Ooh.
animals running everywhere on the loose. Lions, tigers, bears, pumas,
Oh, my.
panthers. I'm like, somebody had to die. Somebody. Because some of these people are like 2 inches from a roaring fire, and some lion comes out at them and just throws them across the room. I'm like, holy God. So for pure carnage, man, this is so much fun. Burt Lancaster as Dr. Moreau he's the best of the Dr. Moreaus.
This is a good call. I haven't thought about this one in a while. I gotta.
I've never seen this one.
Oh, you'll dig it. It was when I was sick and I watched about 11 movies over 2 days.
This is like Logan's Run era Michael York.
By the way, Logan's Run, another great movie to watch.
Yeah, that's on my to-do list.
This was like I put it on. I was like, all right, I'll watch this. Maybe I'll take a nap. I was up the entire time. Then I put on Night of the Comet and went to sleep.
Nice.
I like that movie too, but I could sleep through that. I could not sleep through Island. So y'all should watch Island.
I
The
need to.
70s version.
That's a blind spot. All right. I, after watching Scream, thought, well, actually, I was looking for a movie to watch, and I had basically an hour and a half. So the first horror movie we came across that was an hour and a half was I Know What You Did Last Summer. I have not seen this since
The
it came out-
original?
The original. Since it came out in
Oh.
the theaters. I saw it then, have not seen it since. I remembered shockingly little of this movie. I got to tell you, I think this movie is a little overrated because of all the Scream knockoffs. This is at least what I remember as being the best one, and the cast is like unbelievably gorgeous. So I feel like people like this one more than maybe they should.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Oh, I forgot Anne Heche is in that. I love Anne Heche.
I did too. Yeah. I mean, the cast is unbelievable. And this is like peak Jennifer Love Hewitt. It's okay. It's kind of ridiculous at times, which surprised me. Because like Scream never got to the point where you're thinking, okay, this is just kind of stupid.
Right.
This kind of goes there a couple times. Like Ryan, is it Phillippe? Ryan
Phillippe.
His character is bad. All he does is scream and act like a psychopath to his best friends the entire movie.
Yeah, he's a dick.
A little Ryan Phillippe goes a long way in a lot of his movies.
That's what Sarah Michelle Gellar says.
This one was pretty brutal with his insanity. But, it's fine. It's very late 90s. Like,
yes.
Very in the style, in the way it's shot.
Those two girls ruled the world at this time. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yes. Mm-hmm. The palette of the movie. All these movies have the exact same look for the most part.
Yep.
So Tim would love it, I'm sure. It's fine. I didn't hate it, but I actually expected to like it a little more than I did. I think my memory of it was a little better. So not a bad movie, but it's a big drop off from the first Scream to the first I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Tim had his first orgasm to Jennifer Love Hewitt going, "What do you want from me?" And then he tried to hide his shame with his bucket of popcorn for the rest of the movie.
Have you guys ever watched the sequel, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer?
I don't
with
think
Brandy.
So.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen it.
My wife loved those movies.
Is that which one has the tanning bed? Is that I Know What You Did Last Summer?
The second one, I think, because they're on that island. So I think the tanning bed is in that.
Oh, is who's the there's a Brandy?
Brandy, yeah.
She's a fine girl.
I see what you did there.
I may end up watching that. We'll see. I'm curious. Just for completion's sake.
I don't know if I've ever seen that start to finish, but I definitely saw it all because of cable TV and just like, oh, here's the first 20 minutes. Oh, here's the middle 20 minutes.
Brandy. Off.
Yeah, it's kind of, it is what it is.
Hey, it made a lot of money.
Yeah, good for them.
So. Exactly.
All right, I'm going to bring up a documentary that I watched, and I hesitate a moment because...
Is it a Western?
In this chat room that we have going is the person I most want to talk to about this documentary with, and I almost dread it because once I mention it, he may know so much about it that I may not get a word in because he knows.
Oh, you'll get all the words in because he can only chat. That who cares? We don't.
Bridgewater Triangle from 2013 documentary, either on Netflix or Prime. Hunter, have you seen this?
I have not seen it. I know about the Bridgewater Triangle.
Okay, you have to watch this like tonight. Lauren
Coleman's in it.
Is in it like all the time. Jeff Belanger, who's the ghost hunter from here in Connecticut.
Yeah,
I think our buddy Colin even knows him.
Yes, he does.
And a whole host of other guys that you probably know their resumes.
Wow. So this isn't a movie.
It's a documentary.
I've seen the thumbnail and I've passed by it. I'm like,
right. Morgan watched it and he texted me. He goes, "Watch this. I want your opinion on it." So what am I gonna?
Is it all magic? Is that what started it all?
Well, listen, this Bridgewater Triangle is a section of southern Massachusetts that covers several towns, and all the Hunter Shea stuff happens in this area. You've got UFOs,
really?
Satanic ritual, cryptids, ghostly lights, ghosts.
It has one of my favorite cryptids, Puckwudgies.
Puckwudgies
in their Bridgewater Triangle.
What?
Yeah, look that up, sucker. Puckwudgies are
these,
awesome.
They go into that. I had no idea that all this stuff was going on right over the border in Massachusetts over there. Like I didn't realize. Like as Monster Men, we need to make a couple of road trips over there.
We might never come back, which is fine.
But like Lauren Coleman is like the main man in this. Like they talk to a lot of other people, but they keep going back to him as like the Godfather.
Because he is. That's why.
Of course, if you don't know who we're talking about, he runs the International Cryptozoology Museum in Maine.
Portland, which I think he's moving to Bangor or someplace else. Someplace north.
Further north. Come on, Warren.
Yep. And he's going to have like a library there. It's a big deal. But there's a fiction podcast called Bridgewater. I'm in if it's about this. If it's about Teddy Bridgewater, the quarterback, I don't care.
He just signed with the Dolphins as their backup.
Oh, God help you.
So listen, if you're into this kind of stuff, this is a good documentary. Interesting. A lot of stuff I didn't realize. So it's a fun watch if all that paranormal in search of stuff. And Jeff Belanger knows everything about New England folklore and stuff. So he's got a pretty cool little podcast about New England ghost stories and all that stuff too.
For sure.
Yeah. So see, I was dying to know whether you would watch this or not, and if you were going to be completing. I said, well, like you said with the puck wedgies.
Puck wedgies. Anytime I hear Bridgewater Triangle, it's like puck wedgies.
I've never heard of that.
I wrote about them in a Patreon only book. So if you want to read it, you got to join Patreon. All right, my turn, right?
Your turn.
My turn. Back when I was sick, watching lots of movies, I hit Tubi. Tubi was like, it just fueled me. It reinvigorated my immune system, helped me get better because I was watching great movies like Klaus Kinski starring in Crawl Space. This was a family fun movie back in the day when I was a kid. We would rent this movie all the time.
I've never heard of it.
Klaus Kinski, both in fiction and real life, was fucking insane. At the very least, pulling guns on coworkers and directors and sexually molesting any co-star that was around him. He was, nowadays, I think he'd be canceled. But luckily, Satan took him before he could live this long. If you just ever want to like blow your mind, just watch like especially latter career Klaus Kinski movies like this, where he plays this strange dude who owns this little apartment building that he only leases apartments to pretty girls. And he tends to crawl through all these crawl spaces and spy on the girls. And he just may be a Nazi or related to a Nazi. Dude, this is crazy. Like, he's kind of like, he pulls it in a little bit in the beginning. And then they just go, do whatever you want. And he goes, okay, I'm going to put lipstick on like a gorilla. Here, I'm going to have some fun and play some Nazi marching music. It gets really weird really fast. But anytime he's on the screen is literally electric because you pity the people that were working on set that day and the poor damsel that had to be opposite him. Oh, by the way, there's some very pretty girls in this movie too. I've
never seen this movie.
Oh my God, you have to see this movie. You all have to. That's homework for everybody watching and listening right now. Go to Tubi, watch Crawl Space. It is 80s bonkers bonanza and Klaus Kinski at his absolute nuttiest. Maybe. Fitzcarraldo, he's maybe crazier.
I definitely have never seen this.
And it's quick. It's a very quick movie, too.
That's key.
Very key. And some pretty good kills, too.
Okay.
And
I'm
Chad
sold.
Lutsky agrees with me. So there we go.
All right.
Sounds like my kind of movie.
Yeah, you'd like this.
It's not a horror movie, my next one, but I just wanted to mention it because you guys talked about it, I think, last week. I finally watched the new Dune movie, and I freaking loved it. I'm so excited for the sequel. It actually makes me want to read the books because I thought the movie was fantastic.
Well, I'll get a dump truck to carry my book to your house when I'm done.
It won like all the like technical Academy Awards.
Did it? I mean, Dennis, is it Villeneuve? I don't know how you say his name. whatever.
Sure.
That guy's visual style right now, I think, is just unmatched in Hollywood. His movies look phenomenal, and this is no different. So definitely worth watching.
Yeah, there's battles at night in the desert with like huge explosions and people are running across the sand. Very cool.
Yeah.
How long?
Really, really dug this.
Is it 3.5
hours?
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't as long as I thought it would be. So
it's way better than I thought because I was like, 2.5 hours, and I just remember all the Dune lore, and I was just so worried it was going to get bogged down in that, and then it doesn't really. So it
was fine. The only problem was I had trouble understanding Rebecca Ferguson's dialogue because she whispers the whole movie. So every time she'd speak, I was like, "What? What is she saying?"
Huh?
I was just like, my hearing aid's not working.
She needed some steam. That's her problem.
Yeah, that was probably it. But yeah, I thought it was just so.
Does it encompass the entire first book, or is it part of the first book? Does
anyone
in the chat, if you've seen it, let me know if you think it's the whole book or not. I'm just interested now.
You said this, Jack. Boy, does Star Wars borrow from this. I mean, I can't believe there weren't lawsuits. Maybe
I know
there were no lawyers in the 70s.
Holy shit. I mean, just whole plot points. Oh, we need this just right into Star Wars. It's ridiculous.
I mean,
yeah, but good shit. Worth watching.
Nice. I can't wait to watch it.
All right. I'm going to end with, I believe this is also on Tubi. It's more of a psychological thriller than it is a horror movie, but I wanted to mention it. It's called Dashcam, and I think I saw it on a list of found footage movies that may have gone on your radar, but it's not actually a found footage movie. It's like a found footage movie. The whole thing is mostly this guy who's like a video editor for a news organization, and he's working with like an on-air personality, and he's supposed to be getting video files from the police about a shooting between a district attorney or somebody like that and a cop, and he's supposed to edit the stuff together and get it out to the guy so that they could publish it, in the morning. And instead, what happens is he's accidentally sent a folder with files he's not supposed to see that shows that there's other stuff that happened. There's way more behind this, more conspiracy kind of stuff. Larry Fessenden is in this movie.
Nice. It's a Larry night. There he is.
There he is.
Wow.
You hear his voice on a tape and you see him in the video because he's one of the people in the shootout. So there he is in the car.
When he dies and they dig him up, if someone digs him up by accident and they look at his cranium, they're going to swear he's an ancient alien.
Yeah. He's a crystal skull from Indiana Jones.
And a treasure in America.
So a lot of it is like him talking to his girlfriend on like Skype or Zoom and to his like boss. And then Jason, you're going to enjoy this probably. A lot of it is him using editing software, and you actually see him like grabbing a file, putting it in, highlighting, and examining video and audio. And then at one point he does leave the apartment, and it's a pandemic movie. So when he goes out, like he's wearing a mask and gloves and stuff like that. It's not the greatest movie you're ever going to see, but it's almost better than a found footage movie because they don't make it a found footage movie. There's actual camera angles, but it does all the stuff that a found footage movie would do without the awkwardness of why would he keep filming? They're just like, well, we're going with found footage as the subject matter, but it's a standard,
and it shows you how to edit.
Yes.
Oh, done.
Not the most exciting ending I've ever seen, but it's on Tubi. So if you're just looking for an interesting watch, you could do worse than this. But again, it's not like the Western I watch. I'm like, oh, you got to watch this next. Yeah. But if you're looking for something different, it's a renter kind of. It's a Tubi movie.
Tubi's so good.
I'm surprised we don't see more, found footage kind of movies from cop cams. I mean,
yeah,
most cops have to wear them now. They're in all cop cars. Like you could do some really cool stuff with cops showing up to some crazy call and there's something supernatural going on or whatever. Like I'm surprised we don't see more of that.
Well, someone is working on it now.
Let's
now that
do
they
it.
heard.
Good, make it happen. I don't even need
Now,
credit.
the only thing is, if you go to look up this movie, there's another movie called Dash Cam that's done by the guys who did Host. I can't find that movie anywhere to watch, but like if you look for reviews of this Dash Cam, you find a lot of reviews for that movie.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about that when you first mentioned it.
Huh.
I'm going to try and track that one down at some point, but
I think it just got distribution maybe a month ago, so I don't think it's been released yet.
Give it time.
So this one, you got to look for the Dash Cam with Larry Fessenden, and it's the one on Tubi. And I'm glad that I watched it on Tubi and didn't pay, to be honest. So
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the beauty of it. It's like the old days going to the video store when they had that $1 special. Like, I'll take a chance on this. This looks like could be good, could not be good. So nice.
all right, is that everything?
That's everything.
Let's go.
Oh,
I got to get my bucket ready.
Yeah.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Okay, so X, the new Ty West movie, killer cast. Mia Goth,
Brittany Snow.
Let me see. Does
Jenna Ortega.
Anna Ortega.
The rapper Kid Cudi.
And
Martin Henderson. I couldn't remember his name. Martin Henderson.
Yes. Yeah. Matthew McConaughey, Luke Wilson hybrid.
Yeah, exactly. A24's version.
Throwback to 70s slasher movies. Jason, give us the synopsis if you would.
All right.
I was ready. I'm glad
I know. He never does it.
Some strippers and their who runs strippers? Manager? Is there a name?
I think he owned the strip club.
Okay. Some strippers and their boss decide they're going to shoot a porno out in the sticks. So after a long drive of making out and buying random food and complaining about not having the right cigarettes, they get to this farm that has just a kind of a shitty house on the property that is available for rent, not the farmhouse, but like a secondary one. And they go there and start shooting their porno with the unsuspecting older couple who rented it to them, maybe 100 yards away. And creepy, bad things happen.
The best description I saw somebody give, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
I said that's the perfect way to put it.
Yeah, it's basically Boogie Nights for 3/4 of it.
Oh.
Now, this movie had been on my radar for a while because just by doing the news every week, I'm at all the websites. So I only saw part of a trailer, and I actually avoided once I saw, oh, this looks like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's enough for me, and I didn't look at it much. So it was on my wish list, and then one day I get a text from Hunter like, "Oh my God, X is so good."
Right after I watched it, I'm like, I must alert the team.
So I have a lot of stuff I have to do at night I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. And then magically one night, like stuff I had to do got canceled. And so I like left work, went right to the movie theater and was like, it's now or never. Saw it. And then I came out and was like, Jason, go see this movie, please.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
You must go.
And Jason stepped up and did it. So here we are. So
yeah,
Hunter, since you saw it first, you go first.
The beauty is I did not know what I was walking into. All I knew was it was a Ty West movie. I had no concept of really even what the story was about. So I settled into this theater that used to be a warehouse from like the early 1900s, and just not too long ago was converted to a little tiny multiplex in this industrial town. There's nobody outside. There's almost nobody inside. So immediately I feel a little like, I'm out of my element here. A little creepy. They're going to kill the New Yorker. And this movie starts. and it goes places where I didn't think movies go anymore. It looked like something from the 70s. It had the whole vibe. By the way, if you're looking for some quality nudity, this is your movie, ladies and gentlemen, because he does not skimp on the actual porn part. And I remember, no, he was talking in one interview saying about like I didn't know like how much further I should go with the porn or pull out to the horror. But this movie, it's a throwback movie. It's a throwback to when movies took chances, were kind of dangerous, a little bit bloody.
70s slasher movies had sex in them.
Yep.
Yeah. Like
and 80s.
This was so much more authentic than like the latest batch of
the watered down iHeartRadio version of all the shit that goes on today. Yeah. This was definitely not that. Yep. And I loved it, man. I didn't know what to expect, and I loved every single minute of this movie, which is why I texted you guys right away.
All right, Jason, how about you?
I like this movie a lot. I knew literally nothing about it. Nothing. You guys said go see it. So, okay.
And
yes, Ty West. All right, I'll go. So I didn't know anything about it. My initial impression leaving the theater was that I wanted more because of how straightforward it was. I wanted some kind of a twist, something. And I don't know how much I can say without getting into spoilers, but I expected more. But the further I get away from it, I'm like, but that's clearly not what this movie was about. This is just an old style, killer thriller slasher kind of movie. Simple, straightforward, blood, tits, the whole thing. And
bloody tits.
I really liked it. The beginning part when it's just these people going to shoot a porno was so well done. I could have just watched a movie about that without any horror stuff at the end. It was just so well done.
Right?
So the further I've gotten away from this, the more I've liked it, and I've kind of let go of that initial reaction of, boy, I could have used just like something a little different. Mm-hmm. So I really liked it. I thought it's incredible. It pisses me off that Ty West hasn't done a horror movie in like 8 years before this.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot of TV
missing out.
Work, making money.
Yeah, he probably makes more money.
Yeah,
so I don't blame him, but it sucks for us.
So I'm watching it, and it's a classic Ty West. Like I was saying, it's slow burn, but not boring. Great character development, great filmmaking. So I'm not bored, but I am in my head going, we're not getting like any real horror here. We're getting some hints of what's to come, but it's really taking its time. Then when it gets going, and it's a lot of fun. I totally understand what you were saying about wanting a little bit more, but then, and I will not get into this till after the spoiler bell, there is a post-credits scene. And once I saw that, I said, oh, there is another shoe to drop.
Yes.
After the credits that I think enhanced it a little bit. And we'll get into that more after spoilers. But I'm repeating you guys now. A throwback horror movie that I wish I had it right now on Blu-ray that I could watch it again, because there's so many things I want to go back and watch now with fresh eyes, knowing what happens. But I was not bored. It was like watching a movie about filmmaking that also happened to be about an adult movie, but good character development and all that. And then like classic 70s slasher stuff happens. I mean, I was blown away by how much I like this movie.
Yeah. By the way, how much did you enjoy Brittany Snow's version of Landslide?
Great.
Oh, Brittany Snow was really her.
Yeah. Oh, I only know her from like, Pitch Perfect and
Prom
stuff
Night
like that.
remake.
Huh?
She was in the Prom Night remake too.
She's in Would You Rather, which I don't think I've ever seen.
Oh, Would You Rather is very good.
Which
one's
was
the blonde?
Oh, didn't recognize her.
She's one of the things I loved about this movie, though, because she, like, there's no kid gloves here. She goes for it.
Oh yeah, she's in some scenes that are like, holy shit.
Yeah. But she's also multi-layered. Like, yeah, she could just be a stripper whore, but she's not. Like,
No,
right,
they have a conversation in the middle of the movie that's like, what is happening right now?
right.
Like, whoa.
The guy who does, who's banging all the girls, he could just be some like, big dick black dude, but he's not. He's a Vietnam vet. He's actually a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see the size of his dong in shadow?
In the shadow.
That was awesome.
Oh, on a
Well,
movie
that's my
screen, I was
screen
like,
name. His
Jesus.
name in the movie was Jackson Hole.
That's right.
Let me tell you, man, he was talented.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Dirk Diggler's prosthetic.
And I mean, let's get to it. Mia Goth is a striking looking person. Maybe it's the no eyebrows thing.
I didn't know who she was.
is she the main character?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I knew no one's name in this.
What the heck is her name in this movie? It's
God, I don't remember.
Ginger, Maxine.
She carries a heavy load in this movie that we'll get into later.
Yeah, which carries quite a few loads.
And then Jenna Ortega out of nowhere, she is like, what do they call her? Church mouse. She gets such like a blending in the background person until suddenly she's like, my turn. I'm taking over this movie for a little while.
This is why I never bring my wife when I shoot porno movies.
Yeah.
I don't want her to get interested.
I didn't know who she was, but I saw Scream a day or two before this. So I just looked her up and then I saw her in this. I'm like, is that the same actress? Holy shit. All of a sudden she's in all these horror movies.
Isn't
That's
she
pretty
from
cool.
like Disney or something or Nickelodeon?
So.
She looks like it. She just
Right?
has that really tiny frame. Just looks like she'd be in Disney.
Yeah, exactly. But she was good in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody
So yeah, the beginning's great. Once shit kicks in, the gore is intense at moments and then not at others. It's kind of an interesting blend, the way he does it. So yeah, it's
I
a
will tell
solid
you,
movie.
The best scene you're going to get in that movie is that wide shot from up above with Mia Goth swimming and that giant ass alligator right behind her. I was like, holy cow.
That was a big alligator.
Yeah. It needs its own movie.
Yeah. I thought he did a good job with the look too. I'm assuming he probably shot it digitally, but it looked like an old movie.
He did shoot it digitally and had to do a lot of work in post to get it to look like that.
Some of the lighting they did helped too.
Yeah. And just even the camera angles and all the things he did, it just looks like an older movie.
I think they used old lenses or something like that.
Maybe.
One thing that I liked about this was we all roll our eyes at all these franchises that keep pumping out. We're like, do we really need another Texas Chainsaw? Do we need another this? And when you see this, you're like, hey, look, it's a movie in the spirit of classic horror, but it's an original thing. It's a slasher movie, so there's a lot of retreaded stuff there. But that's all we want is fresh take on an old favorite. This is like a better Texas Chainsaw sequel than
than almost any of them.
Yeah, like this is a follow-up.
Any of them. I'm going to say any of them. This is better than all of them.
And it's probably not going to make any goddamn money at the theater. So
it has made $8 million. So I think it's they've made their money back.
I would agree with that. Actually, there's not a whole lot to this, so hopefully it didn't cost too much. And A24, we didn't even mention A24. They put this out. They continue to just kick ass,
which is very different for them. This is not a typical A24 movie. I'm glad they took a chance on it.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I think that's part of when I was just expecting something else to happen as the story progressed. I was waiting for something more, and maybe that was just in my mind because it's an A24 film. So I'm expecting some crazy twist to happen.
Well, what I was saying before about the line between Ty West and Tarantino, I kept waiting for some over-the-top gore like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he never goes that far with it. You get great gore in this, but there's nothing like gets a laugh out of the crowd,
Right.
like the bus scene.
No, the really gory scene in this is not fun or funny. Like the worst one is not.
Yeah.
It's not entertaining. It's brutal.
If it is, you're fucking weird.
Yeah, this is more I spit on your grave than it is.
Yeah.
I think we probably should wander over to spoilers.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So
By the way, it was shot in New Zealand
I know.
because there was no COVID cases there. That's why they shot it there.
Spoilers. So listen, if you have not seen this and you're listening or you're in the chat, get out of here because you don't want to know anything more than what we've said.
Run for your lives.
Now, Mia Goth plays not only Maxine, but she plays Pearl, the old woman who turns out to be the killer.
I did not know that.
I did not know that until I got
knew
home.
a young person had to be playing that. I
Yeah.
just didn't realize it was her.
Did you know until you got home, or
I knew when I saw the credits.
I wasn't reading the credits. I was like looking at my phone because I was like checking my email and stuff. So
Right.
I just was like, So I'm like, you can't hide the young person and old person makeup, like the Flanagan thing.
Yeah.
So there was a part where I was waiting for like, is something supernatural going to happen, or what, or is it just
Right.
they got a younger person? So I was in my head, like mental note, find out who was playing the old woman, and then like my mind blew when I saw that was Mia Goth. And then Jason, what I was referring to is, I'm kind of like, oh, did I want more from this movie? But then once you find out the parallel lives that these two characters, like the symbiotic relationship they have, and that they have already filmed a prequel with Mia Goth as Pearl.
Yeah.
That to me felt like it made this movie mean more.
I didn't realize they'd already shot the movie. I thought they were just doing one of those fake trailer kind of things.
No, he just said, "Hey, can you guys stick around for a couple of weeks?" And then they filmed the second.
Yeah, so I think later this year we're getting the sequel
that changes Jason's attitude.
Don't hold your breath.
I think
and it's going to be a third one. So this is
in this case, though, this is the kind of prequel I think, Jason, that you don't mind because it was premeditated. It's almost like a Tarantino movie in that you got the middle of the story before he told the beginning part. So it's going to mean more because they made them at the same time. And so it's telling a bigger story. And then hopefully we'll get a third movie.
For this to be more that we know Pearl lives. So there's not going to be any tension in her scenes when she's, if somebody's fighting back or gets her cornered.
I bet he'll find a way.
It's going to be like, well, she's going to live. So, but we'll see. I mean, if anyone has earned me watching a prequel, it's Ty West. So
exactly.
I will check it out.
But if it's just a matter of does she live or die, that's not going to spoil my entire viewing experience because it's what did these two wacky old people, what were they like when they were kids?
Oh yeah.
And
by the way, did you know her freckles were not real?
Mia Goth's
around her.
I assumed because it was really on one side, it was really crazy, and then it wasn't on the other.
It was cool. I love the fact that she was a coke snorting, stripping, porno making, fucking delusional woman, and you rooted for her anyway. I love
destroys the final girl stereotype
completely.
Yeah.
Well, I like that in all the kills because they're very unceremonious. So Jenna Ortega starts to shape up as a final girl, and she goes through a lot. And then all of a sudden, she's running out of the front door and gets blasted with a shotgun.
Oof. I'm glad you mentioned that because even though I was expecting more story-wise, some kind of twist, something that we didn't get, there is a great red herring where at the beginning you see the axe stuck in the porch with blood around it. And then when Jenna Ortega picks up the axe, you're thinking, oh, she's going to get out of this. And when she doesn't, it's like, oh, that was so well done.
And
that was so well done.
You see her face when they did the little show. I was like, whoa, that's a bad way to die.
So yeah, my hat's off on that one because that one really took me by surprise. That was so well done.
And then the thing that you really comes out of left field is the sexual attraction of Pearl to Maxine, and then the
To everybody.
old people, the old people love scene,
Oh,
and she's stuck under the bed. I mean, that's just gold.
I just thought of the smell. Neither of them looked like they had bathed in a long, long time.
I mean, that guy
scene
had
was
one
rough.
tooth. I mean, that was brutal.
Yeah,
Brutal to watch.
He had one tooth, but he looked like he had extra rows of gums. Like his mouth was so weird.
They did a good job of kind of hiding them for the first half of the movie. They're always like out of focus or
Shot from behind.
Yeah,
they did a good job of that to reveal the monster, like the old days.
But
Jack,
now,
did you get turned on at all when Pearl laid down with a naked Mia? It was kind of like getting close. Were you getting close?
there was Pee Wee Herman in the movie theater. I think we got to talk about the alligator.
Great alligator.
So that's the most tense part of the movie. When Mia Goth is swimming and she has no idea the alligator's coming, and then she gets to the dock, relaxes. When she relaxes, you're like, no, get out,
get up. Yeah.
And then you know later once they're going back to the pond, you're like, okay, who's getting it? Is it going to be the Marine?
And it was even better. You and I had just watched Eaten Alive.
Yes.
Toby Hooper's movie. So, and by the way, this movie is full of horror movie references, including The Innkeepers, his own movie, The Shining. Remember when he's doing the axe, the way he moves the camera when he does the axe against the door? That's The Shining. There are horror movie references. Don't Fear the Reaper. Halloween's playing on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is.
That scene was
loaded.
so great with the red on the headlights.
On the headlight, yeah.
Man, stabbing his throat was like, Jesus Christ. Oh God!
You got to give it to the old lady for the limitations she has. She really, used the element of surprise well.
Yeah, absolutely. This was. I had no complaints like the new Chainsaw movie, where it's like, how old is Leatherface? Like, what the hell? In this, they are shuffling around. Like, they are old.
Yeah,
she shoots that gun and obliterates her hip. It's like, yup.
Help me.
But they're experienced and they have home field advantage.
Yeah.
They do.
All that was well done.
Proves it doesn't always work.
It's like Andre Dawson. He's still got some lead in that bat.
By the way, when her head was crushed, I was like, oh man, that looked horrible.
Well, that was the climax was kind of anti-climax. I don't know, like the backfire of the gun throws her. Like,
that was great.
And all right, so Mia Goth says to her, I forget exactly what she says, but she's quoting it, and the preacher on the TV is saying the same thing.
Yes.
And then we find out that she is the runaway daughter of that TV preacher.
I'm just thinking that preacher looks like he's preaching 1958 in a tent. But,
yeah.
Okay.
But you're talking about Texas in the 70s, so it was probably like the 50s.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I wanted to mention Martin Henderson, the guy who played the porn producer / strip club guy.
Oh, with his banana hammock.
Yeah, that guy was great. It was half excellent dialogue from him and half him just completely owning that character. Like, this guy is a scumbag, but at the same time, he wasn't. He seemed like a legitimately nice dude who was just in the smut industry.
Well, that's the whole thing.
He's the one with the best line in the movie.
Which was it?
Feel how hard my dick is.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that was
when
so
the
great.
Camera dude puts his hand on it. I was like, okay.
I laughed out loud.
He wasn't a pornographer, really, because he just knew that people are going to be able to watch these tapes in their home. And he just wanted to, I think he even said at one point, this isn't going to be like a thing he always does. He's just trying to make a quick buck.
Just trying to make money. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his last 10 minutes in the movie, he's going around in tighty whities, essentially. and he's great. Like I thought he was funny. I thought he had this weird charm to him. The whole thing.
You
he
your
did a great
Quiet
job.
Place nail in the foot reference.
Yep.
Sheila is asking what happened after the credits. Sheila, there is a trailer for a prequel called Pearl that's about the old couple when they were younger in like 1918, and Mia Goth is playing Pearl. So we're going to see.
I can't wait
how it all started.
And by the way,
they've already shot it.
It's already shot. It's already done.
Okay. I think it's coming out later this year.
Interesting. I like that.
The scene that hurt me was when the girl, whatever her name is, the younger girl,
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah. When she'd been locked in the basement and she's finally got her hand coming out and he just whacks her fingers with that effing hammer or the gun. I forget what he hit it with. I was like,
I think it was
and they were breaking out. I was like, I felt
pull your goddamn arm back in the door.
The poor girl is locked in a basement with a castrated corpse, starts to get out, and then that happens.
And there's an old woman in a chair too. That's the Psycho reference, that in the swamp with there was a car in the swamp. Like I was having a good time just like going, oh, that's that movie. That's that movie.
But then back to what Jason was saying about the good conversations. When Jenna Ortega, the quiet girl doing the boom mic, is listening to them talk, like, well, what's the difference between, that guy's having sex with your wife? Well, it's different when it's on film. It's all this and everything. And that was when all the artists are talking, that's great. And then when she goes, well, I want to be in the movie then. Suddenly her boyfriend's like, whoa, wait a minute.
That actually made me feel gross. That was well done. When she's like, okay, I'm just going to cheat on you in front of you and you're going to have to film it. I was like, oh, because that guy was the most annoying character in the movie.
Yeah.
His pretension about shooting this porno. And then like he's in the shower. I'm like, oh my God, I feel terrible.
The Glenn Close
crying in the shower. Yes. Glenn, I thought of that too. Glenn Close crying in the shower.
That was brutal for that guy.
Yeah, I felt terrible for him.
Yeah. So,
and by the way, they all had to perform porn. They needed more than those horrible bologna sandwiches.
I like that they bought the milk and then what they used the milk for.
True.
Oh, Jesus. Good stuff.
Yeah. This is number one right now.
I can't wait to watch it again though, because now knowing that Mia Goth is Pearl, I really want to rewatch it now and see. It's like watching The Sixth Sense the second time, where you're like, "Oh, now I know what to look for."
Right.
I knew that old lady was sexy. Now I know why.
She's like in bed with herself. That was awesome when the old lady gets into bed with her and is like creeping in on her.
Something moved when I was watching that. I'd give this movie 5 out of 5 mops.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely first place for me right now.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
I love Ty West, man. This guy.
Me too.
His aesthetic is right up there, man. So I was so happy. It's great that he's back. I hope he never leaves.
Yeah.
Please.
I hope you made a bunch of money at TV now. Just make movies for me, please.
Just for us.
All right. We don't know what we're doing next week, so we'll figure it out and post it on Saturday. Tell you what's going on.
And maybe we'll have another co-host. We'll see.
We'll see.
Maybe we will.
Maybe we'll have Mia Goth on.
In the meantime, share and subscribe and all that good stuff.
If we had Mia Goth on, Jack would just pass out from just masturbating on camera.
Okay.
You got me.
I got you.
All right. See you next week.
Later, mop heads.